Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. It's a holiday where many of us choose to wear green. And even if we aren't Irish, we at least pretend to be Irish for the day. St. Patrick's Day has always been a very important day for me because it is my birthday. Tomorrow I turn 44 years young. Somebody asked me, do I have a tradition on St. Patrick's Day? And I said, no, I actually don't, because I came from the only Episcopal church in the Western Hemisphere, the first one that was named for St. Patrick's. So before coming to Grace, I never really had a birthday. I was always working. It was a busman's holiday for St. Patrick's. So I'm thrilled to be at a church not named St. Patrick. When I was a little girl at age 6, I actually wondered if God allowed people who weren't Irish to celebrate on St. Patrick's Day. I was very concerned about this issue, talked to my grandmother, and my grandmother, God love her, she did the math, and I've saved it to this day. She wrote out in her own hand, mathematically, who I am in terms of my heritage. She told me I'm 3/8 English, 3/8 German, 1/6 Swedish, 1/6 Norwegian, 1/6 Welsh, and thank the Lord, 1/6 Irish. Today, I thought we could learn a little bit about St. Patrick's because I've got to know St. Patrick's pretty well over the years. He's one of my patron saints. And I thought we'd do that using something our family calls, sorry choir, a pocket quilt. So this is going to be a quiz sermon, so when I say true or false, you tell me what you think the answer is, okay? So, true or false, the real St. Patrick was born in Ireland. False. That's right. The real St. Patrick was not born in Ireland, though that's the country he became connected to. He was actually born, does anybody know where? England. That's right. He was born in England. Now, this one stumped the 8 o'clock crowd. True or false? Both Patrick's grandfather and father were clergy.
False.
You are wrong. It is true. His dad was a deacon and his grandfather was also clergy. So he came from clergy. You would think he was from this upper crust family, that his family would have made sure that he went to school on a regular basis, right? You would think that. And you would think that probably his family would have also schooled him in the ways of action figure extraordinaire Jesus, right? Wrong. Actually, Patrick wrote in his book that I blush and I fear exceedingly to reveal my lack of education. True or false? It would be a good idea for all of us to wear pirate hats on St. Patrick's Day.
True.
True, absolutely, because you know, pirates play a very big role, right, in Patrick's life. Remember, he was stolen at the age of 16 from his life and taken away by pirates. Art by Fiona. Taken away by pirates, right, to a foreign land where, true or false, he was made to pump gas.
True.
No, false. He was actually sold into slavery to babysit for 6 long years, what? Sheep. Yeah. Now, I know we all think sheep are cuddly and wonderful and warm, but St. Patrick, think about this. One of my friends called me on the phone this week and said, what would the world 6 long years on the greens of Ireland with just a bunch of smelly sheep to watch, right? No one to talk to. If that had happened to me, I think that potentially I might be very angry. Yes? Angry bird? But actually, St. Patrick didn't see it that way. Patrick actually was very joyful about the time that he spent on the greens of Ireland, and he didn't waste his time because he spent most of his time doing what?
Praying.
Praying. That's right. He actually wrote day by day, I began to pray, and more frequently, my love of God and my faith in him began to increase. Patrick believed God had a plan for his life, and one day when Patrick was asleep, he had a dream, and dreams have meaning. We know this if we read the Bible, right? And so he had this dream, this voice came to him, God's voice, and said, don't worry, God's going to find a way home for you. And so sure enough, he walked a ways until he came to a bunch of sailors, right? And he said to the sailors, please let me get on your big ship and let me sail away with you. And sure enough, that is exactly what Patrick did. Now, true or false, did the sailors deliver him safe home, sweet home? False. False, right? After only 3 days of very bad seafaring, they landed in France, and Patrick had to walk 200 miles all the way home. If you MapQuest Manch Vegas, where we live, to Boston, 53 miles. So imagine having to walk from here to Boston, back to Boston, back. 200 miles. Very long way. So, true or false, when Patrick got home, he stayed home for the rest of his life?
True.
False. False. Yeah. Patrick, remember, always wanted to go to school, so he decided to go to school, actually back to France, where he'd been originally abandoned, and he then went back to Ireland, became a priest, and then became a
Bishop.
bishop. You know what this hat is, because you wore it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it fits you better than it fits me.
Yeah.
Now, there are lots of great stories about Patrick. For instance, Patrick, true or false, drove the frogs out of Ireland.
False.
False. What did he drive out of Ireland?
Snakes.
Snakes, that's right. The snakes out of Ireland with a drum. But my favorite legend about Patrick is actually one where a man had lost his horses, and somehow Patrick held up his hand and light shot out of all 5 fingers and illumined the darkness. And the man was able to find what he lost. I love that image of St. Patrick of being a light and holding out his hand as a blessing to all and spreading the word of Christ. And this is what we need to remember about Patrick. Yes, it's great to wear green, right? Get out our green bling, right? And do our thing on St. Patrick's Day. But the reason we have saints is because they image light and because they point the way. And so we need to remember day by day, Patrick, he said this, use God to shape and mold me. So day by day, God molds us like clay. And day by day, we, like Patrick, should pray, right? And believe no matter what we do that our Creator will see us through and know that God's eyes are big enough to see us all and watch over us always. Amen.
Amen.